Welcome to NFL World, where NFL starts and ends. I'm your host, Jacob. And welcome to the NFL Dream, where we're going to finish up the NFC West in Arizona, where we talk about the Arizona Cardinals, specifically what they did in free agency, because they didn't lose any big-time free agents that were exactly noteworthy. But they made some big signings, the biggest signing being Josh Sweat. Signing Josh Sweat, making that adjustment, bring him along back and reunite him with Jonathan Gannon from their time in Philadelphia was very important. Those are things that need to be talked about. They need to be question of, okay, how does Josh Sweat make it your team better? It's very easy. He's quick, he's long, and he moves very fast. You can see it's just an instant. Here's how I fix this. Here's how I go here. All that. He's very smart in that way. So let him do that for you in Arizona. Dalvin Tomlinson, another big signing. No pun intended. He is a very big man, but he's great against the run. He's decent against the pass. So his best strength is the run. Put him in the middle and let him just go and stop the run. That's all you're asking him to do. Akeem Davis Gaither, they added him for depth. That's a 2-year deal. Jacoby Brissett signed a 2-year deal. He'll be a veteran backup for Kyler Murray, a guy who has proven that he can play. And if Murray does miss time, slide in Jacoby Brissett, you'll be fine for a week or two and don't expect more than that. Simi Fehoko was the first signing they made, and I was kind of surprised that it was Simi Fehoko because 1-year deal for a guy who hasn't done anything. He's been all right in his NFL career with the Cowboys and the Chargers, respectfully, but not well enough to say, yeah, he was easy number one choice. No, not in my opinion. Jake Curran, the offensive tackle, 1-year deal. Okay. He'll bring you some swing tackle depth. Michael Walker is a special teams guy. All right. Calais Campbell returns on a veteran 1-year deal. So those were some good moves. He brings experience. He brings very good power, and he'll teach guys like who you drafted how to play this position the right way and how to act the right way in the NFL. Some other big re-signings they did make. They placed the Greg Dortch on the restricted free agent. He was tendered, so the RFA tender. That basically means you were an undrafted player, so therefore we can place this on you. It won't cost us much, and you can't go anywhere. It's either this or you can't play football again. Pretty easy to figure out. Travis, I believe it's pronounced Vokel. Well, I think it's pronounced Vokelit, to be 100% honest. Saying the tight end signed an exclusive rights deal, which is the same thing as the RFA deal. Exclusive rights means either here or I can't go anywhere. It's pretty much the same thing. They re-signed Brandon Browner on a 2-year deal. Aaron Brown was a 2-year deal. Zay Jones, they brought him back on a 1-year deal. LJ Collier on a 1-year deal. Aaron Brewer on a 1-year deal. Joey Blunt on a 2-year deal. So there was some good things there. Looking at the draft picks, the biggest one being, in my opinion, in the second round, but in the first round, Walter Nolan, the defense tackle from Ole Miss, who he's kind of was. There was some good parts of his tape. There was some bad parts of his tape. Obviously, that happens with everybody. His was just like, was it good enough? And the fact that he fell to Arizona in the first round at pick 16 does tell you a little bit of not every team was sold on him either, and that tells you something. Will Johnson, in my opinion, would have been a first-round draft choice had he not been injured. He got injured. The goal for a lot of teams didn't check out. So that was the basis of their reasoning. I'm not saying it was good reasoning, just saying that was the basis of their reasoning. Jordan Birch, the edge rusher from Oregon, didn't watch a lot of Oregon tape, cannot tell you what it looked like. I did watch a little bit of Cody Simon, the linebacker, and a little bit of Denzel Burke in the later rounds, but that was pretty much it. Hayden Connor, I didn't really pay much attention to. Kitan Crawford, I didn't pay much attention to. So there's some good things here, but you can tell just by the way they structured this, they went very defensive heavy. They try to fix that up. They think their offense is good enough. Maybe they're right. Because if you look at their standings last year, this was a team that went 8-9, had a 47% win percentage. They were 6-3 at home. They were really good at home. They were just 2-6 on the road. They won the last game, but this was a team that had a chance to win the playoff and make the playoffs, and then it just fell apart at the end. Like they had the lead in that division after Seattle squandered it, and then they just started to lose games, and Seattle was catching up, but the Rams were catching up, and then the Rams ended up winning it in the end. But that was how bad this got. So I'm looking at their schedule, and I say, okay, New Orleans, Carolina, at New Orleans, home for Carolina, at San Francisco, home for Seattle, home for Tennessee, at Indianapolis, home for Green Bay, bye week 8. Again, when you get week 8 or later, it's a good thing because the second half of the season, you can try to get some health, try to get guys healthy again. You don't want it super late. You don't want it super early. You kind of want it in the middle. It is in the middle. They come back from the bye week 9, home, on the road at Dallas, Monday night. At Seattle, home for San Francisco, at home for Jacksonville, at Tampa Bay. That's tough. Home for the Rams, at Houston, home for Atlanta. They finish off the year at Cincinnati and at the Rams. This is not a really challenging schedule. This is just a schedule. Say to yourself, if you don't win the first half of this, we have to raise questions because especially the first 2 games, even though I think Carolina will be better, you should have, of the 7 games you play, at least 4 wins in the schedule. That's just the way the schedule is listed. So I got this team still playing under their expectation, but I think they get over 500. I think they finish the year 9-8. But there's a lot more questions about this offense that were not addressed and need to be addressed the next offseason because I don't see where this offense can go and get better if they don't have a number 2 wide receiver or a gasher or something. That you have Marvin Harrison Jr., who's a great talent, but we have to see Arizona put it together finally. Or maybe it's just not meant to be with Jonathan Gannon as head coach. Let me know in the comments, does Arizona finish the year with an above 500 record? For NFL World, I'm Jacob Hubert. Out.